Right, hello everyone. Welcome to you all, and thanks for coming back to my channel, the Warren's Team Talk. I'm doing the same today as I did yesterday, and I'm just going to look at some of the big sports news from today. And if any of you want to come on and have a chat about it and have a debate about it, feel free to do so. It'd be lovely to talk to you all. And if you're watching this later and you feel like you want to put a comment in the comment section, that would be amazing as well. So yeah, just feel free to engage with me in whatever way you feel comfortable and whatever way you want. It'll be great to hear what people think. Anyway, so before we do all that, just some little bits of housekeeping for me. Please remember to like the video. Please remember to pass it around to people so they can get to see it as well. And also, please remember to share it around. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. That'd be fantastic. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So the first thing I want to talk about today is a news story I heard this morning about a new Rugby Union tournament that's being proposed. Now, I'm a big Rugby Union fan. I do really like Rugby Union, and I'm a big fan of the Lions Tour and the Six Nations and the Southern Hemisphere equivalent, which used to be called the Tri-Nations, which was Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. But a few years ago, they added Argentina to it as well. But let's have a look. I've got a news article from Rugby World that I want to show you, and I'm going to talk it through with you, and you can see what you think. So I'm just going to stop sharing that screen, and I'm going to bring it up. So just give me a sec while I bring up the article. Right, here it is. Here we are. So the article says that a new annual 12-a-side rugby tournament is aiming to bring new fans and funds into the sport. World 12s is set to launch the men's tournament in 2022, and there's also going to be a women's tournament from 2023, so the next year, and there will be equal prize money on offer for both competitions. And players will be selected for 8 different franchises via an auction. So they're going to have 8 new teams, right? And those 8 teams will select players via an auction. And organisers say they aim to bring £250 million into the sport over 5 years, as well as attract new fans through the shortened format, because the games are going to be 30 minutes in length and 15 minutes each way. And they're also saying it as well, that the tournament will complement rather than detract from existing events. Okay, so we've had a chat come in there. And hi, Ali Sokolojak. Nice to see you. Keep up with good work. Regards from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Well, thank you very much for coming in, Ali, and for your comment. Yeah, I'm trying hard to make sure that I keep you entertained, and I hope that you're okay and doing well. So, are you a fan of rugby, Ali? Do you like rugby? And if so, what do you think about this new tournament? I'll be interested to hear what you think. So, I'm not 100% convinced about it, just because I don't know when they're going to fit it into the calendar. But yeah, let's carry on. it says in the article from Rugby World, here we break down all you need to know about the new World 12s tournament. Who will play in the new World 12s tournament? Well, the goal is, according to this article, for 192 of the world's best players from Tier 1 and Tier 2 nations to be involved, with players auctioned off to 8 franchise teams. The auction will follow a similar format to the Indian Premier League and 100 in cricket, and would likely be staged in early 2022. Well, later on in the article, they say sort of August, September. So I think that's probably more likely to be the case, to be honest. Anyway, each franchise will have to select 2 players from Tier 2 nations, as well as one under-20 player in their squad of 24. So there's going to have 8 teams with squads of 24 in it. And it then goes on to say, how does the 12s differ from the 15 game? Well, there'll be with the 12s, they're going to have 6 forwards and 6 backs, and there will be so there'll be 6 forwards and 6 backs in a team, rather than 8 forwards and 7 backs like it is with the 15-a-side version of the game. And as I said earlier, matches will be 15 minutes each way, so half an hour in total. And because at the moment the games are 40 minutes each way, meaning that they last for 80 minutes. And then they'll have knockout games. They're going to have knockout games as well. And if there's a tie, if the games are tied at full time, the winner will be decided by a golden point. Now, quite what that golden point is, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know whether it's like the old golden goal rule in football, where in football, at the beginning of the 21st century, what used to happen was that there would be extra time, and then if a team, they would play for up to half an hour, and in that half an hour, if a team scored a goal, that would end the match, and the team that scored the goal would obviously win. And it also says there will be a couple of law adaptations, including conversions, having to be dropped goals, and only one scrum reset will be permitted, with a free kick awarded after that. Penalties for scrum infringements can be kicked at goal. Penalties for scrum infringements can't be kicked at goal. So, yeah, that's quite a big change, actually, to be honest. The fact that for conversions, you have to do like a drop goal. And then also, if they have to reset the scrum more than once, that you have to have a free kick. And then penalties for scrum infringements can't be kicked at goal. So, yeah, that should be interesting. So what is the tournament format? The article goes on to say. Matches will be played over 3 weekends, with 2 round-robin weekends followed by the knockout stages to determine the rankings from 1st to 8th. To address player welfare, there will be limits on game time for each player, with a proposal being on the table of players being restricted to 60 minutes across 3 weekends. And then goes on to say, when will the World 12s take place? Now, discussions are still going on, apparently, but organisers aim to stage the 2022 tournament over 3 weekends in late August, early September in England, with it moving to different locations around the world each year. And who is involved? Former RFU Chief Executive Ian Ritchie is the World 12's chairman, and also Gareth Davies, former Wales Rugby Union chairman, and Steve Tu, former New Zealand Rugby Union CEO, non-executive directors. The tournament is backed by a UK-based financial consortium, although as yet there are no details of who makes up the consortium or how much money is involved. But like I said, like the article said earlier, they're hoping to raise over £250 million to be pumped into the sport. So, yeah. Now, it also goes on to say Rugby World Cup winning coach Steve Hansen and Jake White are also ambassadors for the World 12s. And why have they decided to launch a new rugby tournament? Well, the chairman, Ian Ritchie, says all sports need innovation to adapt, to attract new people, to be fast, exciting, innovative and entertaining. That's what we believe World 12s will bring to the party. It's a new model with new investors and finance coming into the sport, and it's complementary, not competitive. We believe it is a huge step forward globally for the sport. And Hansen says we've probably got a little complacent about our game. The World 12s will get people excited and move people's backsides from the back of the seats to the front. The concept allows us to play the game fast and for it to be about skill. White also points to the fact that the financial benefits of this 3-week tournament could encourage players to stay in their home countries and play for domestic teams rather than seek overseas contract. England coach Eddie Jones actually discussed the possibility of a 12v12 format in Rugby World magazine last year. So I'm going to put this article in the description of the video. So if you want to read it for yourself, you can do. And there's a link in this article to a interview with Eddie Jones and his coaching methods, and I think probably talking about this 12v12 format. What are the potential issues? Player release is a big one, Rugby World says. The proposed timing of August/September currently clashes with the start of the season in Europe and the Rugby Championship in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's hard to see clubs and unions releasing their biggest players for the World 12s. While organisers are keen to insist that it won't dilute or detract from any existing competitions or investment, there are concerns that it will. And that's my concern about it as well. I just can't see clubs and unions being prepared to let that happen. Plus, there is the question of whether a new tournament and new format of the game is needed, particularly with player welfare such a big issue. And at the moment, player welfare is a massive issue in rugby. With the head injuries and what have you, and there have been some high-profile players in the past who've sadly become very unwell because of head injuries and so on. Now, World 12s, how will World Rugby react? How has World Rugby reacted? World 12s said they have had informal discussions with World Rugby, unions, clubs, and other stakeholders about the tournament. A World Rugby spokesperson said, "We are aware of the proposed new World 12s competition. While we welcome innovative thinking, with the potential to advance the reach, attractiveness, and growth of the sport. Comprehensive consultation with the organisers is required to understand the viability of the concept, particularly in the context of ongoing global calendar discussions and the priority area of player welfare. So it looks like they're still discussing about whether even they're going to be even able to fit it into the rugby calendar. And like I said before, that's my big issue with it. I just can't see how they're going to fit it in. But we'll see. I think, guys, that's it. That's the end of the article. So, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else there. Yeah, that's the end of that. So, I don't know what you all think. Like I said, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced about it being, half an hour for a match, things like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not convinced about that. I'm not convinced about that new cricket tournament, the 100. If people enjoy it, fair enough, but I'm not sure it's going to be for me, to be quite frank. Anyway, so let's go back and get on with screen sec. Yeah, so let's go back and talk about that a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm not really sure that I like all these new shortened versions of sports and what have you. For me, the sport is the sport is the sport, and you either like it and get involved with it, or you go and find something else. But I'm just an old fart, and probably for the younger generation, it's something that they might enjoy, and if it attracts them to the proper game, then all well and good. But what's it going to be next? Two-a-side football matches that go on for 5 minutes? No, it's not for me. I'm sorry. Anyway, so moving on. Don't forget, guys, today the Wanda Diamond League final starts in Zurich, and you're going to be able to follow that on the different BBC platforms. The iPlayer, I think it's on BBC Two, and I think it starts at 6 o'clock this evening. So, and it should be a really fantastic athletics meeting with some of the greatest stars from the sport being on show. I'm going to see if I can get to watch it. I think it would be really, really fantastic. And it's today and it's tomorrow, so it should be amazing. Also, today, Emma Raducanu plays in the quarterfinals of the US Tennis Open Championships in New York. And she's going to be playing Olympic champion Belinda Bencic for a place in the semi-finals. So that should be amazing. Fair play to the young girl, and I really hope she does well. And I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll give a fantastic account of herself, and it should be a great. It should be great for her. And whatever happens, she's done her family, her friends, and the whole country proud, and I'm really proud of her. So, yeah, good luck to you, Emma. I hope you do well. And I think that all kicks off at 5 o'clock British Standard Time today. So, yeah, it's one to look out for as well. So, yeah, moving on. Yeah, so that's the end of the news I wanted to cover. This chap here, the old school gunner, has become quite a good friend of mine, and he's got a YouTube channel, and his channel is focused solely on Arsenal Football Club. And there certainly isn't a shortage of content about Arsenal at the moment. That's sure. It doesn't. There hardly seems to be a day go by when there isn't some drama or crisis in engulfing the club. And old school Gunner isn't short and coming, isn't frightened to come forward and voice his views about it. And fair play to him. It's a really good channel. And if you're an Arsenal fan or you like hearing about what's going on at Arsenal, I can thoroughly recommend it. So, yeah, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks very much for those of you who came and watched it. And shout out to Ali Sokolojic. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Yeah, and it was really nice to see you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's the end of the show. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon.